How do you feel about that? How many of you love change?
I do.
Who loves change?
How
How many of you are like, okay, suppose I could learn to love it. Okay, so what if the change is so good that you can hardly describe it? How would you feel about it then?
Good.
Good? That's the kind of change we're talking about, okay? So tonight as we close, as I started earlier this evening, I was sharing with you a little bit about bookends. And what was the first bookend that I shared? About the Mary Kay leadership model, or our style, or our lens, or just the way that we do life together. Remember the first, it starts with a V.
Vision.
So victory vision, right? We're going to come back to that over the weekend because it is so important. But the second bookend that is an unbelievable part of who we are is our culture. And many of you are well studied on leadership. You're subscribing to Success Magazine. You are reading the leadership books that your sales director is reading. You're attending everything that we provide for you. You can certainly call yourself a student of leadership. And in doing so, you would be joining all of us on the executive leadership team in that we really pride ourselves on being students of leadership. And when we hunger to learn new things, because that we know that when we learn something new, we can then figure that out and digest it and talk about it with each other, and then we can share it with you. And we can help you to change your life like we've changed our lives. The second bookend that is so phenomenal is the bookend of culture. And from the moment that you walked in the door this evening, this certainly was different than a typical staff meeting in corporate America, or a meeting with the principal and other teachers in the teacher's lounge, or a quick powwow rally before you hit the retail floor at a store, or certainly different from gathering everybody at the nurse's station and doing the rundown of here's patient 1, patient 2, patient 3, here's what we're dealing with, okay, go, right? Or wherever you're at in your life, what you're experiencing, does it feel so different? How does it feel different? Say it real loud.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
It's empowering.
It's empowering.
Appreciation.
You're seeing appreciation being given.
Honest.
It's honest and transparent.
It's more relaxed.
It's more relaxed.
Uplifting.
Uplifting.
Authenticity.
There's authenticity.
Sparkly.
Sparkly!
It's fun.
So you know we were in China. And I don't know how much Chinese history y'all know. But you know there have been a lot of dynasties. Like the Qing dynasty for 7,000 years and the Ming dynasty. And when we arrived, it was clearly the Bling dynasty. Zoe, you're so right. It is sparkly, and it's sparkly from the inside out, isn't it? We love our bling, but it's sparkly from the inside out. Well, what I want to close this with tonight is just a conversation about this culture and truly what our leadership brand looks like in Mary Kay. Because I feel like if you've invested in a whole weekend and coming to be here, that you're probably coming to learn more than just how to sell time-wise miracle sets, or how to fill out a weekly accomplishment sheet, or how to do some of those mechanical things of the business. Now, we've got lots planned for tomorrow. It's going to have lots oriented towards skill. But am I right in that you've made an investment to be here? And that investment is at a deeper level in your heart than just, I want to learn another skill. Am I right? Will you raise your hands if I'm right? Because that will affirm my thought process in the direction that I want to take this. And I want to bring to you what's most going to serve you. And so what I want to share with you tonight as we close and as we talk about this conversation of leadership in Mary Kay is that you have a real understanding of what the picture of leadership looks like. Because tonight we have celebrated leaders. We have celebrated leaders at the director level, and we have celebrated leaders at the consultant level. And in order to lead, we first must be able to lead ourselves well, and then we can effectively lead other people well. And so I have a feeling that most of you have a stamp on your heart right now. This little burning sensation like Roxanne talked about when she was at her very first seminar, that is the sensation of, I want more for my life and for my business. Is that true for most of you? And I'm guessing that means that the opportunity to lead with us in Mary Kay is a part of that. Am I right? That as you see yourself developing into a leader in this company and everything that leadership provides us with and affords us with, all the choices, that you're feeling like some of those whys that you've heard about tonight can come true. How many of you believe that that's so? That Mary Kay is a vehicle for you to get from point A, where you're here right now, to point B, to point C, to point D. And so I really feel like it's of critical importance, before we go a moment longer in the coaching and training experience you'll have this weekend, that you truly understand what the culture of leadership looks like. So I want to share with you what our leadership brand really and truly is. It would be very safe for us to say it's very different. It's extremely unique, and it is utterly amazing that a group of women this size could come together with no ulterior motives, the purity of spirit and intention to invest in one another's hearts for a lifetime legacy, cheering one another, supporting each other, leaving our own insecurities outside of the doors, and bringing our very best selves forward into this environment for the service of other people is utterly amazing. Our leadership brand is not about people telling you what to do. Now, we can share a lot of success points, and you've heard so many wonderful points tonight. These are some things that I pursued. These are the women that I chose to listen to on my journey. This was the direction that I went. But this truly is about independent women making positive choices that are going to move you forward. Move you forward on a path of progress that's going to advance your life. You see, we're not managers. We're not going to call you every day and tell you what to do. We're not going to scold you if you choose not to. We're not going to fire you if the job is less than perfection. We don't believe in the management brand of leadership because we know it doesn't exist. Management isn't leadership. Leadership is successfully influencing other women to influence themselves successfully. Leadership is successfully influencing other women to influence themselves successfully. Leadership is not me as your national sales director or your sales director or your recruiter telling you all of the things that you need to do. Because if we did, we would rob you of the opportunity to lead yourself well. And if we did that, we would steal from you the joy that comes through the process of developing confidence. We are bringing women up in our area by choice, by intention, by focused effort and energy, with the understanding that our purpose is to strengthen the woman you already are. See, I believe that we can have broken parts in our life, but that when you show up and you plug in and you invest in something, you're not broken. You're strong. So this weekend and everything about our leadership model is to arrive to support you as the strong woman you already are. It's kind of like we're just breathing belief underneath you, showing you the way, so that you can flap your wings and fly. We desire for you to be unique, for you to have the style of leadership that God has called you to have. In our leadership team, you will see lots of similarities, but you will also see tremendous differences. We celebrate openly both similarities and differences. We love uniquenesses. We love the fact that women arrive to directorship in our area with confidence, to walk in their confidence and to walk in their powerful and to walk in their amazing personalities of themselves. And that as they arrive, our new directors are the most beautiful example of what I'm sharing with you right now. They are not arriving thinking, now I have to change myself in order to fit in. They're arriving to our leadership team where we have open arms and excitement for what they bring to the table in all of their strengths and all of their beauty and all of their joy and all of their power. And they say, here I am. And this is what I bring to the table. And how can I serve this national area? And how can I make a difference? That is one of the reasons why our national area is so strong, is so successful as a Gold Circle national area in our very first year as a national area and headed to the Diamond Circle this year. We recognize your strengths. We celebrate your strengths. We want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. There's a concept about champion women. So when we talk about the breed, I shared earlier, there's just a breed of Mary Kay leaders, and it's just this, we're just a different kind of woman that walks around in the world amidst other breeds. And what makes it such a powerful example or model, you've seen this with every leader who stepped forward tonight, is that she has a spirit that from the inside out is inner directed. What I'm talking about is that she isn't dependent upon me as her national sales director, upon her sales director, upon her recruiter. She has chosen to be an independent leader, to be inner directed, to seek out the people that she needs to seek out who can help her with an idea or help her with a strategy or help her with a goal, but she's inner directed. And what happens when you're inner directed is you no longer become dependent on contests or promotions or a conference call or anything that's provided for you. Because within yourself, you have built up a resolve, a tenacity, a persistence, a commitment, a dedication that goes so far beyond any one of those things. As I share that, it's fun for me to look around the room because I see heads nodding. And you're women who understand exactly what I'm talking about. Because, see, you didn't need this weekend. You were thrilled about this weekend. You couldn't wait to get here for this weekend. You're so excited to come and be here this weekend. But you didn't need this weekend to cross your finish line. Sure, it's icing on top of your cupcake. Maybe it's the cherry on top. But you've already made the decision about where it is that you will finish. You see, when you're inner directed, you're inner motivated, you find your why and you focus on it. You find your connection to what inspires you in this business. You find your vision, even if it's developed over time. You find your spirit. You connect with your dreams and what it is that when women speak, you get teary over. Or what it is when you're recognized for it, it moves you like nothing's ever moved you before. And if you get knocked off your path, guess what? When you're inner directed, you get back up. And you just keep going. You know, National Sales Director Tammy Craig once said that a pity party is the most expensive party that we will ever throw for ourselves. Because we lose both time and the window of opportunity that God gives us to bless certain specific people during that window. Inner-directed women, when they get knocked down, pick themselves back up, brush themselves off, dust off their knees, look themselves in the mirror, and say, my dream is bigger than any disappointment, any small, minute failure that will be forgotten within a few days, weeks, or months, or anybody who's telling me no or doesn't support me. My dream is bigger than that. The only way, however, that you can develop that is through a process that's called the process of becoming a leader. In the process of becoming a leader, it means you're learning the art, the skill of no longer needing approval. You learn not to take offense so easily. You recognize that people aren't objects. They're people to be valued, to be celebrated, who have feelings, who have desires, who have goals, just like you do. When you're becoming a leader, you no longer hold on so tightly because you recognize anything we hold so tightly dies. It can't grow. So you stop holding on to people so tightly in what you think she's supposed to do or what role you think she's supposed to play in your business, and you release. And when you release her like she's a butterfly, or you release her like a bird, then what's amazing is she can fly and you fly too. Because you can't possibly fly if you're holding people inside of a bird cage. When you're becoming a leader, you're learning how to serve. Some of you were born with that spiritual gift, the gift of service. I pulled Jamie Yendra aside tonight, one of our brand new red jackets, headed to DIQ, and I said, thank you that everywhere you go, you find a place to serve. Embracing everybody, whoever has a need, and Jamie is there to meet that need. Is it always convenient for her? She was helping consultants pick up t-shirts tonight. She was helping consultants get badges. She chose to do that and support my incredible Zoe, as opposed to running and talking in groups and getting to do the things that maybe she had wanted to do. But she chose to serve instead. When you're becoming a leader, a huge part of that process is stepping outside of what's convenient for me right now, or what do I want to do right now, and how can I give or make a difference to another person. As you become a leader, it is the importance of learning how to be that powerful person who can navigate life from a different perspective, the perspective that you've seen and heard about tonight. So it's very clear that our leadership brand in our company and in our national area is so different. And that is why we feel, very rightly so, that we can term it the success filter or the success lens. Because we do have an outlook that is totally different from the masses of the world. You guys, we're raising women to stand out. We're not raising women to blend in. We're not raising more of status quo or mediocrity. We are raising women to stand out. We're raising women to be uniquely who you are, so we can appreciate your differences, strengthen your differences, and celebrate your differences. And we believe that as we do that, through this beautiful opportunity and family and sisterhood of Mary Kay, that we will position you to make an even greater impact on the world. There is a whole lot of impact that you will be able to make in this company, and you've heard stories about that this evening. But we know that Mary Kay isn't all of your life, that Mary Kay is a part of your life, a very important part of your life. But we want to raise you up in the strength that you've already been given and help you to strengthen yourself to be even stronger so you can impact the world even beyond Mary Kay. The ministries that you want to support, the missions work that you want to do, the educations you want to pay for your children, the scholarships that you would love to provide for another child in a family that would never be able to provide the things for their children like you can provide for yours because of Mary Kay. The homes you want to live in, not just for all the fun of living in a big home, but for what you can do from that home, who you can invite in to serve and to give to and to invest in. The zeros in your bank account that just keep going so that when someone in your family runs into hardship, who hasn't made the entrepreneurial choices that you have made, who perhaps works for the federal government, or a company that folds, goes bankrupt, or gets bought out, that you can write a check and say, let me help you get by for a couple months. Our desire is to raise you up in the strength that you've already been gifted with, to help you become stronger so that you change the world both inside and outside of Mary Kay. So because we've started a conversation this weekend, a conversation at the grown-up table, the big girls table, I want to ask you a couple questions that I want to send you out with this evening. Because see, when big girls leave a night like this, they don't go back to their room after being inspired and uplifted and grumble or complain or be negative about anything. When big girls leave an experience like this, they go back to their room and they say, what inspired you? What's your dream? Where do you see yourself a month from now or 6 months from now? And they have big girl conversations. And so the first conversation I'm going to invite you to have is the conversation you're having with you. It's with your girlfriend who's inside. What conversation are you having with her now? Not yesterday, not even this morning, as you were maybe still packing and maybe worried about what will I wear and will I fit in and does my hair look okay and I don't know if I'm going to meet any new friends, and not that kind of conversation that's filled with fear or insecurity or doubt or frustration or anxiety or worry, but the kind of conversation you're starting to have now in your mind when you see someone else and you say, if she can do it, I can do it. That kind of conversation. I'm going to get started with just you yourself, and then what you choose to share with the conversations that will be favored and anointed in your rooms this evening and tomorrow night. You might choose to share with one another as well. So here are my questions. I have 3 of them for you. The very first question that I have is, what is the impact you'd love to make on the world? If you knew that you could not fail, what impact would you want to make on the world? When it's all said and done, you've passed through our earthly life, and you're standing at the gates, desiring to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. What do you hope that comment from the Lord would reference in your life? The second question I have for you is, what are my 3 top strengths that God has gifted me with that I can choose to use or I can choose to lose? Because see, I think when God's gifted us with strengths, if we don't use them, we lose them. So what are your top 3? And the last question I have for you is, why am I going to choose to use them now? It was Marie Neneman who had come forward, being recognized as a brand new sales director. Or excuse me, Marie, where are you? Please receive that. Because we do know you're debuting this year, without question. She was coming forward tonight as a brand new red jacket. And I said, is it now or now? I want you to ask yourself that question. Is it now or now? Because inner-directed, strong women recognize that the enemy's greatest tool is procrastination. And we recognize it. It's an old tool. It's a dirty trick. It's nothing new. We know how to recognize it. We can call him out on it right away. And we can put the brakes on it. So one of the first best ways that you can become an inner-directed leader is to just pose to yourself, is it now or now? Because tomorrow is not as good as today. And Mary Kay Ash herself and a number of her very first national sales directors created a club called the Din Din Club. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Because today holds great power, and it's a gift from the Lord. So how do I want to make an impact on the world? What are the 3 strengths that I'm going to use? And why am I going to choose to use those strengths now? That is the beginning of your conversation that you'll have with yourself and you'll have with your sisters over the course of this weekend. So when we talk about culture, it is magnificent. And part of becoming a leader in Mary Kay is watching the culture, understanding the culture, immersing yourself in the culture. And so as we close tonight, I just want you to know that my heart is doing a happy dance and clapping wildly for you for choosing this weekend to come and be a part of both our vision and our culture. It's going to be a great night. You're going to sleep real fast. You're going to have pink fluffy dreams all about what is to come and how great and glorious your life is going to be. Tomorrow morning at